high performance community. We want to have a community of people who believe they are high performers.
Or want to be.
Yeah, or want to be. We don't want to have necessarily people who only make a lot of money, but people who are willing to put in the hard work to make a lot of money. What basically I want to talk about is what things we've learned over the last week about just marketing in general on Facebook and potentially on Google and Craigslist, right? You're really the expert here, but I would love everyone to understand marketing in general because it's, from what I now know, it's really not as easy as everyone probably thinks it is.
First of all, I just want to say, so HPC or high performance communities, it's a side hustle of mine. I think it's a side hustle of ours. It's just like a startup we're doing. Peter and I, we both wanted to get into real estate. It's not going to be my main focus, but I'm not sure if it wants to be Peter's main focus. But so we have a side hustle where we just want to get into real estate, and we're like, what is the most efficient way to get into real estate? So let's build a commercial co-working community for high performers. So basically it's WeWork, but there's a strong filter for people we deem as high performers. So it's not that anybody can come through the door. We have to deem you as somebody who's a high performer or wants to be a high performer. Right now we have like 7-8 people, so that's pretty cool. In my opinion, an expert marketer, I do get paid well to give people marketing advice. I am not expert in real estate marketing. I am not. This is just a side hustle we started a little while ago, so I just want to make sure I am not a real estate marketing expert, okay? So you're basically asking me, what did I learn about real estate marketing?
Well, what did you learn about this type of marketing specifically?
Well, the first thing I learned about real estate marketing is that it's way easier to do real estate marketing when you focus on intent versus discovery. So the difference between discovery and intent, and discovery is when you want to convince somebody to do something. Intent marketing is when somebody wants to do something and you present a great option for them. So when it comes to real estate marketing, you need a lot of capital to do discovery-based advertising. Okay, you need a lot of capital for that. So if you don't have a lot of capital, it's better to focus on intent marketing. Right now, we have like a good amount of people. We got one person through intent marketing. Now we want, hopefully scale within the next 3 to 6 months, get like 10 to 20 people via intent marketing. I don't want to be too specific about our strategies, but that's one main thing we learned. When it comes to real estate marketing, in my opinion, it's better to focus on intent marketing versus discovery marketing.
So when you say intent, you explained it, but I just want to go through it one more time so that I can really understand it, right? So intent marketing is when you find somebody with a previously determined intention. So it's easier, you're saying, to market that way than it is to just say, here's my stuff, come find me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's two types of marketing. There's discovery and intent. So discovery is somebody who has no idea about your product, and they're just like, okay, and your job is to convince them that this product is valuable to them. That's discovery. And then the other one, intent, where the person already has an affinity for your product. So for example, let's say you want to start a podcast, you advertise to them a microphone. Well, the person has an affinity to start a podcast studio. So selling them a microphone is they already have an affinity for it. It's intent. There's intent there. But let's say a person doesn't want to start a podcast, or you have no idea if the person wants to start a podcast, and you introduce them your podcast mic, and you're like, so discovery-based advertising would be like, if you ever want to start a podcast, we have the best mic for that. So that's the difference between discovery and intent. There are definitely other forms of types of marketing, but basically you could split advertising in those two things.
So I would say, from what I understand, for you to properly do discovery marketing, right? For you to properly do discovery marketing, it sounds like you need an extremely strong sales team. Someone who's going to go through the list of hundreds of people and convince them that the product is good. If you're just a normal entrepreneur that doesn't really have a sales background, probably don't want to do discovery marketing. If you have a sales team below you, like a lot of real estate brokerages do, right? Then maybe discovery marketing is good. Just get as many people as possible and talk to as many people as possible. But what you're saying is it's actually very hard to do that type of sales to begin with.
So basically the spectrum is like this. The more intent, the easier it is. When there's a lot of intent, like for example, let's say you want to buy fruit outside of your apartment. That's extremely high intent and low effort marketing. You just walk out the door, you see a supermarket. That's very easy. You don't need any marketing help. So where people like me shine is where people have a new product, a new service, a business model that's complicated, where they need an expert to actually help them. Like for example, when you have a new type of business model or a new type of product, it's so hard to sell it. The older the product or service, the easier it is to sell it.
Because there's more people with an intention to want it or buy it.
Yeah, and people just know the product. So let's say you're this enterprise software company. There's 2,000 companies in the world that needs this enterprise software company. The CEOs are extremely busy. The executive team is extremely busy. Nobody knows what the software is. The employees and the executives at these companies have no idea the software exists or even need it. That's when you need high-level marketers and salespeople, because it's like you have to appeal to really busy people for something that costs a lot of money. Enterprise software costs a lot of money. So that the more esoteric, the more difficult, the more competitive, the more new something is, the more you need marketing help.
You mean that enterprise software is similar to SAP, like SAP, Business Client, right? Like a super expensive company to own, but also extremely hard for the entire company to learn, right? Like extremely hard. So like you have to sell an executive on basically retraining their entire company, which is crazy.
One of the hardest things about selling enterprise software is that the decision makers of these companies are extremely busy people. Your marketing has to be so high level that it appeals to these super busy individuals.
And then your salespeople also need to be super high level.
Yeah, well, the marketer's job is to get the interest. The salespeople need to close.